and welcome to Physical Therapy, a movie podcast. We're here every week recommending movies, talking about them, specifically ones that are inspired by the world of physical media. My name is Kurt.
And I'm Sam.
We're also joined by our producer, Kimberly. What's up, Kimberly?
Enchante.
What does that mean?
Nice to meet you.
We're not very cultured here at Physical Therapy.
I try to sprinkle a little bit here and there.
It means nice to meet you?
It means like a pleasure to meet you.
The pleasure is all mine, Kim.
If you've heard this show before, you are probably no stranger to the fact that Sam and I have been watching a lot of Arnold Schwarzenegger movies over the last few months. Our very first episode of Physical Therapy was about Kino's 4K release of Kindergarten Cop.
Which is on sale right now, by the way.
Ooh, there you go.
Get on it.
On their website?
Yeah, there's a big old summer sale happening on the Kino
Criterions
website.
are on sale. Kinos are on sale. But Kindergarten Cop sort of kicked off this unofficial Arnold project of ours where we've been watching a lot of his movies. And on today's episode, we're going to do...
Buckle in, kids. This is live reactions to maybe his best two known movies, Terminator 1 and 2. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, everyone wishes. But instead, we're watching Eraser from 1996.
From our good friend Chuck Russell.
Yes. And then following that up with the 2002 film Collateral Damage.
Have you seen either of these, like off the bat?
Eraser.
Okay.
Have you seen Eraser?
Yes, for sure.
Okay.
Originally on VHS.
Yeah.
Did you see it in theaters by any chance?
No. It was rated R,
Yeah.
96, too young.
It's 96?
Yeah.
Oh, weird. I thought it was 98 for some reason.
98.
Regardless.
He's got nothing in 98. He's probably too busy shooting End of Days, the masterpiece End of Days.
They shot it for 4 years straight.
But I have not seen Collateral Damage.
I saw my buddy Tim and his wife Jen before we were recording this podcast. And I told him, he was like, Collateral Damage, which one's that? And I was like, honestly, I'd only seen it during the pandemic. And if my memory serves me correct, like something happens with his family in a terrorist organization, and then he moves to South Africa to kill that terrorist organization.
I'm in.
And I think it's bad.
I'm expecting that. One thing that's very funny to me is on IMDb, I have his filmography pulled up right now. And
okay.
You know how it shows the title of the film and then the character that they play, if it's like an acting category of their filmography.
Sure.
So for Eraser, his character's name is Eraser, which is like,
oh, whoa, cool.
Badass. Collateral Damage, he plays a character named Gordy Brewer.
Gordy Brewer?
I really am looking forward to hearing him say that name.
I don't remember it, but I really hope he introduces himself like James Bond at one point. Brewer. Gordy Brewer.
So we will get to these Schwarzenegger films in a little bit, but first, how was your week, Sam? What did you watch?
My week was fine. I'm in the middle of moving, so watching stuff is kind of, it's when I can make it happen.
Have you started packing any of your physical media yet?
Yeah, I packed up. I have 3 milk crates in my living room hallway right now that are only one part of a shame pile.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. This is going to be...
It's going to be a fucking nightmare, dude. So over 2 nights after work, I did a screening of The Rock, which I hadn't watched in a minute, and I'm here to report that The Rock is fucking awesome.
It holds up.
Oh my God. It's Michael Bay's best movie, is it not?
It is.
Sean Connery is incredible in it. The Nicolas Cage performance is ridiculous, but really fun. The script fucking sucks, but the action in it is so well done and over the top. It's funny to talk about because Hans Zimmer, who does the score for this movie, has had so much time to grow since The Rock came out. But I have to say, it's one of my favorite Hans Zimmer scores. The main theme in it is radical. It's just rocking throughout it. The background cast is just littered with awesome character actors.
Yeah.
Ed Harris as the bad guy who might not be as bad of a guy.
It's maybe not the best dialogue, but I really like the script. I mean, the premise is amazing.
Yes, that's what I meant to say. It kind of hits all the notches on a action movie ABC structure.
We've talked about it. It was one of my wishes at one point. So we have talked a little bit about The Rock on this show, but in short, it is about a group of kind of dissenting soldiers who take people hostage on Alcatraz, like tourists of Alcatraz, and are threatening San Francisco with these poisonous chemical weapon filled rockets, and a chemical weapons specialist of the FBI with like no combat experience whatsoever.
Excuse you, Kurt. 3 weeks of weapon training.
He has to go in. This is Nicolas Cage, and he has to go in to try and disarm these rockets, essentially. And he's led along with a group of Navy SEALs by the only person who has ever successfully broken out of Alcatraz. And that man is played by Sean Connery.
Who's basically playing a 60-year-old version of James Bond.
Exactly.
As his James Bond would act.
Yeah. Just banging.
I think it's probably the last great Sean Connery performance.
Yeah.
It's been a minute since I've seen Entrapment.
Finding Forrester.
And granted, there's no "You're the man now, dog" lines in The Rock, but this is like a really great performance, and he's charming and charismatic and really carries a lot of the movie on his shoulders. And he's so cool as hell in it. Yeah.
He's like handsome. He's great.
That first scene where they introduce him and the camera's kind of like at his knees or below and it's shooting up, and he's got that long wig on and he's handcuffed and he's walking down the hallway in slow motion. It's so cool. It's just one of those iconic scenes, and he looks huge in it.
Womack.
He goes, Womack. I should have. What is it's?
I should have known.
You son of a bitch. No. You piece of shit. That's what he says.
The scene where Nick Cage lights the flares and like drops to his knees. The score. Oh my God.
Just like, we got green smoke. And
it cuts to like the jets are coming in. He's like making his way out in slow motion with the green smoke. And it cuts to Connery running, like jogging. Just this quick shot of him like jogging by himself, and like the Hans like melody kind of doubles down and picks up speed. It's so good.
A movie that I had on VHS and kind of watched till it fell apart. And
yep.
I don't know if I ever had it on DVD, but I definitely have the Blu-ray now. And like start to finish, great time. I love that movie. I really do. So that was my kind of big viewing experience for the week. I've watched I've like sprinkled in a couple episodes of Night Gallery, which is the show that Rod Serling did after the Twilight Zone.
That's a Kino?
Yeah, Kino put out those Blu-rays. I have seasons 1 and 2. Season 3 is literally sitting in a shopping cart from their sale.
Okay.
On my browser. But that show's not as good as Twilight Zone, but it's fun.
Cool.
So that's kind of my big viewings for the week. What about y'all? Did you watch anything fun?
Well, not fun, but it made me think of, I've been watching a Blu-ray of Chernobyl here and there, like an episode here and there for the last couple weeks.
I never watched that.
It's really good, but it is so not fun. Like it maybe the least fun thing ever, but very well made. I'm halfway done. I watched the third one most recently, and Barry Keoghan shows up at the end of that.
Cool.
And I didn't realize he was from that, or in that rather. But on a lighter note, I had a couple shoots this week and was sort of lacking for too much time to watch something. But after one of the shoot days, I came home pretty wiped out and threw on the new 4K of Team America World Police, which I had not seen in a long time. I had that on Blu-ray, and I'm sure I watched it right when it either came out on Blu-ray or whenever I got it, but it'd been probably 10 years.
Sure.
This is, of course, Trey Parker and Matt Stone's 2004 puppet R-rated action comedy about a team of American kind of soldier specialists who are fighting terror all over the world. And it's their kind of send-up of, Michael Bay style movies. And it holds up pretty well. Pretty funny.
It's really so funny.
Yeah.
Freedom Costs $1.05 is like one of the funniest songs of all time.
Yeah, it's a musical, has a lot of music in it, and some of that stuff I just hadn't thought about in a long time. But like the Pearl Harbor Sucks and I Miss You is like.
Speaking of Michael Bay, yeah, really, it's perfect. Their type of comedy.
I was really grateful revisiting it how handmade it is. It really has a tactile quality that I think makes it pretty timeless.
I think one of the things that makes it kind of timeless is that how much time and energy and money they really put into making it.
It's shot by the DP of The Matrix. Like
Holy
it looks
shit.
really good.
That's so funny, dude.
As well as as well as Clueless. Did you know that, Kim, that the DP Bill Pope of Clueless also shot The Matrix?
What's that line in Clueless where she's like, "You're a dumb virgin who can't even drive"?
Classic.
So Sam, you have is it Scream Factory that put out a recent Blu-ray of Team
Shout
America?
put out.
Shout.
I got it while I was the last time I was in LA with you guys.
Yes, at Amoeba.
No, honestly, I got it from that Best Buy in
Oh yeah.
Burbank or wherever.
Oh my
it was.
God.
R.I.P.
You guys
Best Buy.
went to way too many places.
It's true. Sam came to LA and all we did was drive around and buy Blu-rays.
It's true.
And like order
And
them.
when you were driving, you were buying them and ordering them. Sick
It's like,
mother.
Here, hold the wheel. There's a sale on Arrow.
And we played like 10 rounds of Simpsons Clue.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, so I have that newer Shout Blu-ray that has both cuts, the
Okay.
theatrical and unrated on it.
So what's interesting about this Paramount Blu-ray that just came out is
It's a 4K, right? That
it's a
just came out?
4K, but the the unrated one is just a Blu-ray.
Oh, interesting.
So I watched the theatrical cut.
You got the shorter puppet sex scene.
Yeah.
Unfortunate for you, Marty.
I know. A lot of graphic puppet sex positions, even in the R-rated cut.
It's so funny. It is so funny.
Ooh, baby. Okay, so Eraser.
Where does this come in his filmography? What's before it and what's right after it?
Right before it is Junior.
Wow, really?
So Junior is 94,
Okay.
and this is 96. And right after, Jingle All the Way, same year.
Wow. With old Jake Lloyd. Our college chum, Jake Lloyd.
Yeah, I took English class with Jake Lloyd. When I was a kid, I grew up in the Twin Cities in Minnesota, and we would frequent the Mall of America, and they shot Jingle All the Way in the Twin Cities.
Wow, I didn't know that.
And I watched them like from a couple floors up in a, what do you call it? Like an atrium or like a, what do you call the part of the mall with a big hole in it?
The mall? Like, isn't that just what a mall is?
No, it's like a fucking, it's like the, you know what I mean? Like the main.
Yeah, like where I don't like where all the escalators are going up and yeah. you
Oh,
look
the
down.
hallway. The
It's not a
hallway
hallway.
of the mall. Dude, that mall has like a roller coaster and a fucking not a wheel of fortune. What do they call it?
A log chute. It's got one of those.
No, a
That's really funny.
A Ferris wheel.
Ferris wheel. Yeah.
This is the mall that I saw pretty much every movie at growing up.
Do you remember how many screens they had like in the...
Like 12.
Okay.
But I watched them film Jingle All the Way one day, and I think at the time I was like, "Oh my God, there's Arnold Schwarzenegger! What an amazing day!" And now I think looking back, it was probably his stunt double, but still the first kind of production I ever viewed with my own eyes. So there you go, Jingle All the Way. We're not watching that though. We're watching Eraser.
It's...
I love that you guys are just talking about the movies people would maybe want to watch
Instead.
instead.
Um,
It's really funny.
I remember this movie as a kid, seeing the VHS cover of it, which is black and white, and it's him and
Vanessa...
Williams,
yeah.
and they are like walking in front of the Capitol or something, and the text though is in green, or it's like black with like a green drop shadow, and it's got like a crosshair in the center that's in green. And when you're 11 years old, it was like, dude, what's up with this movie? And I probably saw it when I was like 13.
Okay.
Because I think it's a sexless R.
I think you're right. We might, in about 2 hours, we might both be proven wrong on that.
We'll report back, having both shut our eyes.
Yeah, my mom's going to bust into the room and shield my eyes if there's any sex.
Did your mom ever do that? Did she ever cover your eyes like that?
I remember when we went to see Titanic,
Yep.
she specifically told my younger brother, who is gay but was not out at that point because he was like 8. But she was like, do not watch this part. He was like, yeah, I'm not really that concerned about it.
It's fine.
Yeah, we'll talk about it when we get back. We'll talk about what it's about. But this is an action movie from 1996 starring Arnold Schwarzenegger and Vanessa Williams and James Caan. Directed by our boy Chuck Russell, who did the 1988 Blob and
Nightmare on Elm Street 3.
The fucking Mask.
Yeah, you ever heard of it? So I'm watching this on, I have a 2-pack. It's different discs, but same case. Collateral Damage and Eraser as a 2-pack.
I'm watching single ones because I had already bought Eraser.
Funny. Okay.
Eraser's been in the shame pile since probably 5 seconds after we recorded the Kindergarten Cop episode.
You know what the bummer of the 2-pack is? Is that I only get to remove one case from the shame pile.
Oh, yeah. Well, you made your bed, Grind.
My real question is, how many High Lifes are you guys going to drink while we watch Eraser?
God, just no.
Kim, are you excited?
I don't know. I really don't.
Kim, have you ever heard of this movie?
Yes.
Okay.
I have. I know the cover. And that's about it. Like, that's about it.
All right, so we're all going to get erased, and afterward we will hop right back on the mics, and we'll see you guys in the future. The future. The future. Okay, yeah, we are back.
Wow.
We have watched 114 minutes of the 1996 action film Eraser, starring Arnold Schwarzenegger. Sam, how'd you do?
Not my favorite of the later Arnold movies, but I had a good time, you know.
I like this one.
Yeah.
Sam, tell the people at home what Eraser is all about.
So Vanessa Williams works for a weapons manufacturing company.
Yeah, in DC.
And she has some inside intel on them. They're designing weapons for the military, but they're selling those weapons to basically the highest bidder.
Terrorists.
Which I think comes down to treason, I believe is the charge.
Yep.
So she goes to witness protection, where a U.S. Marshal, played by Arnold Schwarzenegger, is like sworn in to protect her. So they're basically on the run, and there's a lot of double crossing.
And like the weapon that
is a laser gun.
Yeah, are selling is this like
it's like a real life laser gun.
It's like a sniper rifle that
but it's
shoots.
Huge.
Yeah,
it's
huge.
massive.
And it shoots high-powered pulse.
Yeah, don't they call it an EMP at one point?
Yeah.
Electromagnetic pulse.
Yeah. The scope allows the user of this weapon to like see through walls and see through bodies and refrigerators and
no, they can't see through the refrigerator because
that's right.
It's not a body. Doesn't breathe.
Well, they can see through houses.
What are you talking about?
I don't know. Why can't he see through the fridge then?
I don't know. That's
it's the same way that Indiana Jones lived because he got in that fridge when a nuke went off in fucking that awful movie.
But basically, like, yeah, the user of this gun is almost unstoppable, and the bad guys are essentially setting up a deal to sell 1,000 units to a terrorist group. So Arnold has to stop this deal from happening, all the while keeping his witness, Vanessa Williams, from harm.
I mean, it's pretty nonstop.
Mm-hmm.
It's very much like one action scene into the next.
I think the gun stuff is really cool, like, especially when I was 13 or whatever it was, but
it is the silliest designed gun of all time.
But in the 90s,
yeah,
it was cool.
Truly. There's very much like a, if we make it as big as we can, it's going to be so scary and cool vibe to the whole gun thing in the movie.
It's like a big laser tag gun to me.
It's so ridiculous. This movie's very silly. I mean, not just the one-liners, which are kind of dialed up. The action's very silly. It suffers from some bad CGI.
How long do we have to wait for me to be able to recap the airplane scene?
Oh, yeah, dude. Hit us.
Can I go?
Yeah, please.
There's a scene in Eraser where a private jet, but like a commercial airline-sized private military-owned whatever jet, is transporting Arnold and others to New York City to find and kill his witness. A fight ensues, and Arnold is trying to escape from this airplane during a shootout. and he basically like opens one of the hatches, the doors, air.
He dives right for it, man.
Yeah. Air's like sucking out of the plane. And basically he knows that if he jumps, he'll get sucked into the jet. So he rips a metal like airplane seat off the wall, throws it out the door. It gets sucked into the jet. The jet explodes. And then he's trying to put on a parachute, but that gets sucked out of the plane. So seeing no other option in front of him, Arnold jumps out, no parachute, from the airplane as he's getting shot at, and skydives after the chute, catches it, miraculously gets it on, pulls the chute, and you're sort of like, okay, pretty good action sequence.
Yeah. Yep.
It must be over. No. The big bad gets into the cockpit, puts a gun to the pilot's head, and demands that he totally 180 turns around the airplane. This is like a jet, like an airplane that would take you from LA to New York.
A Delta
plane.
And
Boeing,
one of the jets has had a fucking metal chair thrown into it.
Yeah, it's exploded. So this giant plane totally turns around, and you see little Arnold through the windshield of like the pilot's POV floating down in his parachute, and the jet lines up and just starts pointing and coming at him. And the bad guy's like, if his brains aren't all over this windshield in the next moment. And Arnold is basically faced with a DC-10 coming at him and pulls out a pistol and just starts unloading his pistol at this plane that's flying at him. And like he's shooting through the cockpit window.
He's shooting like 600 yards straight into the cockpit window. It's insane.
A plane that big is going so fast.
Also, it could never turn and find, turn around and find him. It just does
ever. Like a U-turn.
Like, that's impossible.
It's so funny. It is.
It's really funny. It's all like kind of green, or no, it's like
it's bad
your
CGI.
projector. Yeah,
some
it's
of
just
it,
like
some of it. Yeah, it's my favorite part of this movie. Actually, second favorite part.
Wait, yeah. So then let's be clear. So this scene happens. So he kind of like shoots down the plane, kind of, and
he
then
doesn't
his
really
parachute
shoot it down, but
yeah,
he survives.
They kind of veer off. And
yeah, because they're getting shot at.
And his parachute gets messed up, but he figures it out. Gets on the ground. There's like this really sweet scene between him and two kids. Again, another sweet like Arnold, where you could totally take it out of the movie and you lose nothing. But I guarantee you Arnold was like, we need to have a scene with these kids. And it stays in the fucking movie.
Mm-hmm.
He steals a tow truck and then drives to where Vanessa Williams and him have a meetup kind of safety spot, which is the New York City Zoo.
Yep.
So then let's say 20 minutes after the plane scene, maybe another action scene starts in which Arnold breaks into the zoo, at the perfect moment and saves Vanessa Williams. But he's like, what's your ammo situation? And she says, I'm all out. And he's like, I only have 2 bullets. Dang. So they're in an enclosure in the zoo, or they're
in like the reptile zone.
Yeah. And so with one of his 2 bullets, he shoots a crocodile or alligator cage open.
Like a tank of water.
And so it spills out, and all of a sudden it's like 5 bad guys versus 7 alligators.
It's really insane.
There's an incredible scene in which a guy gets his head bitten off. And the minute it happened, I was like, this movie is next level, man.
Again, when you're 12 years old and you're watching this, or 13 or whatever, it is the coolest movie in the world.
Yep.
Unfortunately, I would say that sequence is like 75% pretty good, animatronic or whatever, alligators, and then 25% PlayStation 1 graphics of guys getting thrashed around in such fake water. Not even guys, fake guys. It's all just CGI.
There is a boss in Resident Evil 2 where you have to fight a giant alligator in a sewer, and this looks extremely similar to that.
But an amazing set piece.
I think it's so cool that it just becomes a creature feature for a hot second.
It's brutal.
Yes. I want more of that in action movies today.
Mm-hmm. And he gets to, Chuck Russell, the director, gets to flex some of those blob muscles,
Without a doubt. And, you know, it ends with Arnold shooting one of the alligators and then being like, your luggage. It's so dumb.
Yeah.
Kim, you had seen this or no?
No, I had not seen it.
What were your thoughts on the movie, Kim?
I mean, it is very silly. I truly laughed so hard when the gator scene happened. That was the most memorable. Yeah, I mean, the wailing guitar. Can we talk about that? Like,
in the score.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just when he's like driving up, like it's just so funny.
Yeah, there's a sequence, I forget which particular moment, but there's a scene where Arnold, it's actually the alligator one. His entrance to that, he comes flying through the door like full-blown sailing action, and it's hit with like that guitar wail that you're talking about. And
it's so funny. It's just like so random because it's like supposed to be like this, it's trying to be this like political thriller sometimes.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah, it has sort of shades of 3 Days of the Condor.
Sure.
It was reminding me of that, except with alligators and jets doing U-turns.
The amount of times that Arnold does like a full-on Superman dive, like flies through the air. Also, one of the first things that we see, quote unquote, Arnold do is like roundhouse kick somebody. Yeah, and it's clearly a body double.
Oh, yeah.
It's like clearly he could never lift his leg that high, but it's so fun. I mean, is any of this movie self-aware?
I mean, I think the one-liners, those always are with him.
Mm-hmm.
But it is kind of like a little off on missing that fun awareness tone.
Yeah, and some of it is just, I think, like bad logic. A lot of it, where there's a scene with Vanessa Williams is stealing some sensitive information from this arms manufacturing company that she works at in order to be a whistleblower. And she's wearing a hidden camera in like a brooch on her lapel. And she's going through the motions that have been carefully kind of calculated and rehearsed with whoever, the FBI. There's people looking through the camera and in her earpiece, walking her through a plan to take this information out of this arms manufacturing building. And she ends up going into kind of the final room where this sensitive information is stored, and her camera loses its feed. And there's a character on the kind of FBI team that's watching this, played by the great John Slattery, who people would know from Mad Men.
He's so good.
But it happens, her camera goes out, and he's like, oh shit. Like he starts like panicking. And then the other guy goes, no. Remember, we're going to lose feed when she goes into the room.
Into the vault.
And it's like, yeah, that seems like something that you'd remember and you wouldn't panic about. But it's like this one little movie moment where it lets someone be on the same side as the audience, you know, to make it a little bit more dramatic. But it like doesn't make any logical sense that one of the three people in charge of walking her through this thing that they've been planning so carefully is going to forget that they're going to lose their video feed.
And we should talk about the disc handling in this movie.
Wow, it's brutal. It's brutally
there's
awful.
Like, all the sensitive information is housed,
which is what
on,
she's
what she's stealing to expose this company's wrongdoings. She steals these she puts this sensitive information, burns it onto tiny little CD discs.
GameCube sized discs.
Exactly. Yeah. And you see her handle these CDs that she makes. You see others handle them. And the way that she
basically licks her hand and grabs them every time. It's so awful.
The physical media
freaks
psycho that I am. I was watching her touch these discs just like so stressed out. I'll tell you what, Vanessa Williams is not allowed anywhere near my Blu-rays.
Sorry, Vanessa.
Truly, it was like, wow. Can we get anybody on set here?
But it wasn't just her. It was everyone.
No, it was everybody. The way they just handled computers in general. Oh my God. There are a lot of scenes of Arnold at a computer, like pretending to type. And I'm like, I don't think he's ever seen one of those things, dude.
Yeah, he does. He does like, there's a close up where he does an eye line shift between two monitors that is so unnatural.
He types with his index finger and his middle finger like together.
But that's how I feel like that's how you type, Kurt. Kurt types with his index fingers. It makes me laugh. Sorry.
Wow, dude.
Wow. Roasted, outed. Unbelievable.
You and Arnie, good buds, typing together.
Typing.
Also, I do want to point out that when Arnold and Vanessa Williams first meet, there's this weird, like, a lot of the lines are very flirty, but there is absolutely no chemistry between the two of them.
No, not at all.
I didn't see it that way.
Oh, really?
I saw that there was no chemistry, but I didn't see it being flirty. In fact, one of the things I like about it is kind of how there isn't a romantic dynamic between the two of them. It's very professional.
I feel like at the beginning, he's like really like a lot of his one-liners are almost innuendos.
Okay.
To me, at least, there's this like weird flirty energy, but I really love, especially because there is absolutely no chemistry between the two of them, that they don't try to tack on
it.
like a love story.
I was worried about that if they were gonna start to change her character in that way.
I was doing a little bit of research before we started this conversation, and it did seem like they test screened a different ending that was more romantic, and people did not like it.
Well, it's like right there the whole time where you're wondering if it's going to tip over, but yeah, I'm glad it doesn't. Speaking of research, there's a home media release section of information on the Wikipedia page for Eraser.
Oh, what do they got for us?
It was originally released on VHS and Laserdisc, and it says the North American Laserdisc release of the film is notorious for being poorly manufactured, with a large number of copies exhibiting severe laser rot.
Was that because Vanessa Williams packaged all of those?
Yeah, she hand touched all of them.
What's a severe laser rot?
Probably how I'm gonna fucking die.
Or it's what happened to all your movies that one time when you like created a bog in your apartment.
Yeah. I know that's sort of... it sounds familiar with Laserdiscs that there was some kind of common like degradation like that of some kind, but sounds like Eraser is severe. Also, there was a direct-to-video reboot in 2022.
Yeah.
Called Eraser Reborn. So sign us up.
I'm sure
episode.
Sure it's great. Yeah. Wait, so where would you place this out of a lot of the Arnold movies we have watched or watched more recently?
I feel like I've only ever really seen quote unquote the good ones. So this is like low on the list, but as far as his filmography goes, I feel like this is mediocre, middle.
I think people consider this like kind of the last of the golden era.
I would put it after the golden era.
So would I.
It's not like old Arnold, but it's winding down.
His hairpiece in this is bad.
What do you mean? Is he wearing a wig? What do you mean?
It looks like it, or it's his natural hair, and it's just awful.
All I really noticed with his hair was there's a scene near the end or before the third act or beginning of the third act where it looked dyed in a way that felt like it was probably a reshoot.
Oh.
Right before they go see the mob.
Yep. Yeah. Also, dude, there's a line that one of the mobsters gives the other, and he goes, "Hey, man, give it up. You couldn't hit a floor if you fell on it." And I fucking fell off the couch. It killed me.
Yeah, there's a really bizarre mafia kind of B story to this. It's so funny.
I think I would put it behind End of Days, but maybe before the Sixth Day.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't seen the Sixth Day. I like this better than End of Days, but I think End of Days is probably a better movie.
Sure. The thing that I struggle with End of Days is I just wish it had like a better director.
Should have got Chuck.
Yeah, honestly, you put Chuck on End of Days.
Give Eraser to Jan de Bont.
Man, yeah. Is there a movie of Arnold's at this point? I know we're about to do Collateral Damage, but is there a movie of Arnold's that you're like, that you haven't seen that you're really excited to watch?
There's some of the 80s ones. Like, I've never seen Raw Deal or Red Heat.
The cover of that makes me think it's going to be the coolest movie of all time.
You bought them both, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Do you have them yet?
Yeah, they're both here.
Oh, shit.
But the cover of Raw Deal, I'm just like, yeah.
The Raw Deal 4K that Studio Canal did is apparently abysmal.
I bought the blue.
Yeah, I might have to do the same. And that may need to be an episode.
Yeah. I mean, I'm there for it. Honestly, for me, though, I've never seen the original Conan. And I just got...
Yeah. We should do that.
I would love to. The Arrow 4K the big box was sold out by the time I was like ready to purchase.
Okay.
So I got the big box Blu-ray.
Okay. Nice.
It's kind of fun because neither of us have seen that, and I think that is really like that starts the classic era.
Yeah. It's essential viewing, I think, in our study. Let's see. One more fun thing on the Wikipedia. The film was nominated for Best Sound Effects Editing at the Oscars and lost to The Ghost and the Darkness.
Wow, yeah, dang.
Yeah. Damn, you know what movie rules?
The Ghost and the Darkness.
Yes.
Yeah. Hopefully Shout puts that out at some point in 4K because they put the blue out and it does look great.
The thing about The Ghost and the Darkness, so once upon a time, The Ghost in the Darkness would have been my first wish. Like that was so high on my list of where's the Blu-ray movies. And yes, the Shout release looks very good. However, there's something so weird about that disc in that the aspect ratio is sort of not a real aspect ratio. It's like 2.12 to 1. And the original aspect ratio is 239. So it's like technically punched in. And there are black bars, but they're like in between widescreen, 235 where you actually see significant bars on your screen and 185 where you would see just a little bit of a black bar on like a 16:9 TV. And I have no idea what that's all about.
Yeah, that's so weird.
But it's sort of a drag because it feels that way. It feels like you're watching like you're watching a movie on an airplane where they've like done that to it. So, it's nice to have it on Blu-ray, but somewhere out there's a better version.
Hopefully it's a 2-pack, Ghost in the Darkness on 4K, not punched in, and Razorback.
Ooh, I have that. I haven't watched it.
Oh, you got it?
Yeah.
Dude, Razorback fucking rips.
Yeah, I'm excited to see that. Okay, Sam, shall we go to 2002?
Round two. This is, I think...
Oh, Andrew Davis. I was about to say who directed this one. Yeah, baby.
Wait, I don't know if I knew that.
Yeah, we talked about that.
Okay, then I did know that, but awesome. I totally forgot about that.
Director of The Guardian and The Fugitive.
And Under Siege.
Oh, yeah.
The one you just watched with Michael Douglas, Perfect Murder?
Exactly, Perfect Murder. So good. So buckle up, folks, because Sam and I are about to watch Collateral Damage. If you're still here with us, we will return to you shortly in the future.
The future.
Okay, we are back. Sam, Eraser's looking pretty good right now.
I think Eraser might be the best movie ever made comparatively to what I just watched.
Yeah, how'd you do?
So about 7 minutes into this movie, I remembered how the entire movie went.
When's the last time you had seen it?
I watched it for the first time during lockdown. I went on a tear of a lot of late 90s, early 2000s action movies that I just hadn't seen. This was on Netflix or something at the time. And so I just popped it on. And it fucking sucks.
It's bad.
It's bad, man.
In this movie, Arnold Schwarzenegger plays a Los Angeles firefighter who, in the first 10 minutes of this movie, loses his wife and son in a terrorist attack organized by a group of Colombian guerrillas, led by a character played by Cliff Curtis,
who fucking rules.
An absolute legend, featured in such films as Sunshine, Training Day, Three Kings, Bringing Out the Dead, you name it. This guy's worked with everybody.
Fast and the Furious presents Hobbs and Shaw.
Wow. And most recently, Avatar: The Way of Water.
Oh, hell yeah.
But Arnold is grief-stricken and hell-bent on revenge, so he goes to Colombia in order to track down this group of terrorists and exact revenge.
Yeah, so Cliff Curtis's name in the whole movie is the Wolf. Everyone refers to him as the Wolf. He's the leader of this guerrilla organization. Part of the issue with this movie is its politics are so far up its own ass. It's insane.
Yeah.
It's so hard to watch in this day and age.
Yeah. It's like just some Trump logic shit.
It's fucking insane and like really gross. There's a scene in which Arnie is at his house kind of like studying this guerrilla team's website. Like literally it's a website. And then he drinks from a mug as he's looking at the website that's just littered in American flags.
Yeah.
This movie was originally meant to come out in 2001, but was delayed after the September 11th attacks and then came out in 2002. And it just reeks of Bush era Republican politics. It's really gross. It's really hard to watch. They keep saying that the Colombians, this is this guerrilla group, but we don't know who they're fighting against or what. There's absolutely no character development for that group of people. We don't know what they're doing, why they care about any of this, other than they want the United States out of Colombia, which for the most part, of course they do. It was just like gross, man. I just like did not like any part of this movie. On top of the action scenes are fucking bad.
Yeah.
There's like not one cool part of this movie.
Somebody gets a venomous snake shoved down their throat at one point.
That part was sick.
That was probably the best part.
During the climax, I was just laughing and not like, oh, I'm having so much fun but like with this movie, just laughing because it looked so bad. The acting's atrocious. Oh, the other thing that we forgot to point out is that the main woman, who is a Colombian refugee, is an Italian actress who looks whiter than I do. It's weird casting. And not that this is the first movie to ever whitewash a cast by no means, but they give her a really bad accent in it. It just, the whole thing was just fucking whack, man.
And it's such a good cast. Like Elias Koteas has a big role.
Yeah.
John Leguizamo's in it. John Turturro's in it.
Who's my dude who's also in Training Day and plays Tuco on Breaking Bad?
And The Rock. He's in The Rock.
Yeah, he's also in The Rock, yeah. Raymond Cruz.
Legend, dude. I saw Raymond Cruz at like a high-end furniture store in LA once.
Hell yeah.
And I was starstruck. I don't know what the hell I was doing in a high-end furniture store, but he seemed like he belonged there.
Let's also shout out that there's a young FBI agent who gets capped on the plane in Eraser.
Oh,
that
yeah.
Same
also
actor.
Yeah.
Also in The Rock. He's the guy who is the last to die in the shower shootout in The Rock.
Yeah.
And he falls back through the sewer and Sean Connery grabs his submachine gun and walks away.
Brutal, dude. They ask him not to go up.
Yeah. Don't go up there.
The Rock. Why didn't we watch The Rock?
No,
instead?
I'm just sitting. Now I'm just picturing scenes from The Rock, and they're just so much better than this movie.
You want better for everyone involved.
Okay, so I asked you this with Eraser, which again, Eraser is like, now that I have this 2-pack, I wish I could cut half of it out and just throw it away and just keep Eraser. This is the worst Arnold movie out of like the ones we've done for this project.
Definitely. I mean, we've mentioned in the past some maybe sort of more indie fare like that film Maggie.
Or Aftermath, yeah.
Yeah, but like this is kind of the end of the line for the classics, right? The classic sort of archetype of his.
Sure. A thing that I read at one point really credits Eraser with being the end of like the quote unquote golden era of him.
Because Eraser's just so much more fun. This movie is not fun, and it's sort of just, it's such a cartoon, but with bad intentions, you know, or like fucked politics.
It just feels like a fascist wet dream, dude.
Yeah. So there's no point to it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Should have known his name was Gordy Brewer. We should have fucking ran the other way.
What's his name in Commando? Like John Matrix or something?
Yeah, his name in Eraser is Eraser, dude.
Yeah,
that's sick.
Exactly.
If I had a kid, his name would be Eraser.
He's having no fun. The script isn't fun. And not that like every action movie has to be a good time, but even in something like The Fugitive, which is done by the same director, Andrew Davis, The Fugitive like is a fun watch. It takes itself seriously, but there's like good, fun scenes in that movie.
I mean, it's an all-timer, The Fugitive. Andrew Davis, I mean, we'll go through his filmography, I think, here, but,
yeah,
you know, he's sort of got a good run off of The Fugitive, you know.
Would you say The Fugitive is an action movie or a thriller?
A thriller. It's got some set pieces, but...
Is it the best thriller of the 90s?
Oh, I don't. I have to think about that one.
I mean, I'm just putting you on your toes, dude.
It's one of them, though. It's an absolute classic.
It's one of those go-to Blu-rays of mine.
Yeah. 4K. Do you have the 4K?
I don't. I'm just rocking the blue.
It's good 4K.
I'm sure that fucking train crash looks incredible.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Unlike the motorcycle crash in Collateral Damage, which looks like a fucking Nintendo 64 game.
Yeah. There's a lot of Eraser alligator energy effects in this movie.
But to Chuck Russell's credit, for the most part, he cuts around a lot of that stuff. There's a lot of...
And if it could be real, it is, I think, in Eraser.
Without a doubt. And like, you know, there's a lot of... There's a lot of audio flashbacks in this movie, and also like dropped frame rate, slow motion fucking flashbacks in this.
There's a lot of that in The Fugitive, though. A lot of black and white, like flashes back to the murder.
Yeah, but they don't do... This is all bad digital shit.
Yeah, it doesn't work in this.
Oh, God, it's so good in The Fugitive when he's sitting and getting questioned and it keeps flashing back to the night.
The Fugitive. His beard. Are you kidding me? His beard in that movie? That's it.
And it's that cop from The Dark Knight who's like, the investigation is ongoing.
Yeah. And The Fugitive.
Why didn't we watch The Fugitive? Why didn't we watch The Rock?
Shit, what are you doing? What are you doing right now? All right, let's talk about Andrew Davis's career.
Dude, we gotta do this.
Take us through it. Take us through the hits.
Okay, so he starts with this movie Stony Island, which I know nothing about, but, you know, sign me up. He does some TV work. And then in 83, he puts out this movie called The Final Terror, which is fucking awesome.
Oh.
Like a swampy backwoods slasher. I'm going to read you the quick IMDb breakdown of it. Yeah. A group of rangers go camping on unfamiliar forest grounds. All's well until the group members start getting killed by a cunning killer in the woods.
Love it.
Daryl Hannah, Joey Pants. That movie's really cool.
Sweet. Is that on Blu-ray?
It is, I believe, Scream? No, I think it was Scorpion releasing, which was an arm of Kino for a hot second, I believe.
Cool.
But that exists. So that's 83. 85, which is like what kind of blew my mind, is Code of Silence, which is a Chuck Norris movie. And I believe he plays a Chicago cop in this. Why did we not just watch motherfucking Code of Silence?
All right, keep going. We got, damn. What's up with all these movies is my question.
Code of Silence into Above the Law, which is an 88 Seagal movie, which I think is one that people really like.
Yeah, I've certainly heard of that.
My best friend growing up had a cabin up in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, and Above the Law I've definitely seen it there on VHS.
Hell yeah.
And then into 89's The Package, which I rented at one point, but was a little too crunked to enjoy it.
Gene Hackman and... Tommy Lee?
Dillon? Oh, Tommy Lee.
So Tommy Lee Jones. Sorry.
Yeah.
Not Tommy Lee. They had worked together before. I didn't know that. Him and Tommy Lee Jones. And in the next one too, right?
And come on, in 92's Under Siege, where Tommy Lee Jones again plays maybe his best bad guy role ever.
Damn. Can I tell you something? I've never seen that.
Which one? Sorry.
Under Siege.
Oh, wow. Really?
I don't think so. I think maybe I had seen a part of it when we were living in the house and with everybody in LA, but I don't think I've ever properly seen it or seen the whole thing.
I definitely saw the second one first.
Damn. Season 6 of Physical Therapy, a movie podcast, is only going to be about Seagal. Once we get Chuck and Van Damme out of the way. Then we get The Fugitive, of course.
Come on.
What is his follow-up to The Fugitive?
I don't know.
Steal Big, Steal Little, it's called. Who the hell's in this movie? Andy Garcia, my man. Alan Arkin.
I mean, it probably fucking rules. So then in 96, he does Chain Reaction, Keanu and Morgan Freeman. Pretty silly, but kind of tight.
Yeah, it's okay. I remember even being disappointed by that as a kid. It's kind of like, okay, not as good as the trailer.
And it's not as good as anything else that like either of those two were doing at the time.
Yep.
And then in 1998, we get A Perfect Murder.
Hell yeah. Perfect Murder is great.
Yeah. A couple TV things, into 2002's Collateral Damage, into this is the weirdest one.
Yep.
2003's Holes, which I loved that book growing up. I've seen the movie a handful of times.
I've never seen it. I did read it.
Baby
Holes,
Shia.
Starring Shia, yeah.
Stanley Yelnats, is that his name in it?
That sounds right.
Yeah.
Good pull.
Thanks. Thank you. Into his last movie, 2006's The Guardian.
Wow. What? I wonder what happened. Where's it? Let's check and see what The Guardian made.
I know that Collateral Damage, again, on Metacritic, which we're not putting too much weight in, is only at a 33 in the red. Not great. I don't think people liked Collateral Damage really at all.
According to Wikipedia, 85 million budget with a 78 box office return. So
wow. On
good.
Collateral Damage?
On Collateral Damage,
okay. Yeah, hit us with The Guardian.
The Guardian, $70 million budget, 95 million box office. I believe it's a Disney movie, isn't it?
I think you're right.
So that's his last film. And I wonder, I didn't do my homework, but I wonder what happened. I wonder if he retired or what. I mean, there's no reason he's not making more.
Yeah, according
to, you know,
according to IMDb, which again is always kind of out there, but he has 5 upcoming projects. Now, who knows what he's doing on those upcoming projects, but I'd love to see him get behind the chair again.
For sure.
I mean, if you're going to give me The Fugitive, yes. If you're going to give me Collateral Damage, then I'll pass. Thank you. While we watch more of these Arnold movies, I wonder if this is going to be... Like, what do you think the ultimate bottom is? Is there one that's worse than this? Because this was bad.
I'll tell you right now, I don't want to go further than this. You want to go deeper into the future
into
than
the 2000s?
Collateral Damage? I don't think I do.
No, but there's still like Red Heat, which is supposed to be bad.
Okay. I'll go backwards all day long.
Yeah.
All the way to The Long Goodbye.
Which one?
Robert Altman's The Long Goodbye.
Schwarzenegger's in that?
Yeah. He's like the big bad. He's one of the big bads, like heavies. Wow. It's just kind of like hovering, hitting his palm with his fist, you know?
Sold. That movie's been on my list for a while, so yeah, give me an excuse to watch it. But I think that if we wanted to, in all honesty, I would be interested in doing like Maggie and Aftermath or whatever the other kind of like independent later movies that he was attached to. But I don't give a shit about watching like The Expendables or The Last Stand when he plays like the sheriff of...
Is The Last Stand tight?
I mean, it's him and Johnny Knoxville.
Oh my God, really?
So, I mean, I just said I wouldn't do it, but just let me know when I'm there.
Yeah, we'll see. Maybe we'll do I can tell you right now that Jingle All the Way is bad, but maybe we'll do that during the holiday season.
That'd be fun. Yeah, that'd be funny. But I do think that this is probably, if not the absolute bottom, it's got to be within 3 titles, don't you think?
It's the end. It's not even the beginning of the end, maybe. I feel like perhaps that starts with Eraser.
Yeah.
All due respect.
Your luggage. What is the movie he does after this?
His next film is Terminator 3, Rise of the Machines.
Oh, we are definitely not watching that piece of shit.
Shout out to my mother who took me to see Terminator 3, Rise of the Machines at the theater.
Molly.
Just
Hell
me
yeah.
and Molly. And I think both of us were like, okay.
Did you guys see it at Mall of America?
Showplace.
Oh,
Do you have a show?
dang.
You ever had Showplace?
I don't think so.
Showplace was like out in the suburbs, West St. Paul, and had really good kind of visuals and really good sound and nice seats. It was like the first theater in my life that had kind of the presentation of the movie in mind.
Sure.
So my question for you is, where are you at on The Last Action Hero?
You and I watched that before we started the pod. What? Probably maybe a year and a half, 2 years ago?
When the 4K was sort of at least new
Newer.
to Steelbook maybe or something. I have a Steelbook of it, but I think it had been out before that.
No, I feel like the non-Steelbook version came out after the Steelbook.
Oh, that could be too.
I remember seeing it as a kid, in theater seeing it as a kid, and not getting it at all.
Yeah. It's so funny and meta and like it feels ahead of its time. And it's got great action.
Yeah, I mean that's part of it. It's like it is meta and it is funny, but none of that dumbs down the great action scenes in it.
Yeah, maybe we should do that at some point.
I would love to revisit it. It's been on like my to pick up list, so you just let me know and I'll...
Great 4K. Great 4K.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Just a great Sony Columbia 4K.
Hell yeah.
So you watched The 6th Day a couple months back.
Mm-hmm.
I have not seen that. In terms of Eraser, End of Days, Collateral Damage, where does that sit? Should I check that out?
I mean, again, you just let me know and I'll watch it with you. We could talk about it on the show.
Better than Collateral Damage?
Without a doubt. Just give me the word, dude. We'll do a Last Action Hero 6-day double feature. I need you to pick up Red Heat and Raw Deal, though.
When are you watching a 4K of Batman and Robin with me.
Oh.
A 3.8 review on IMDb, by the way.
Okay, so if I'm being completely honest, I've never seen it.
Oh, fun.
Yeah.
Okay, someday we'll do a Batman Forever, Batman and Robin episode.
Oh, that'll be fun. Yeah.
You may be somewhat of a fan of Batman Forever, but you're not where I need you to be.
It was funny. We had a VHS of the first Michael Keaton Batman, but I wasn't allowed to see Batman Returns for some reason. But I grew up watching the Michael Keaton one,
darker.
but without a doubt. And there's also the Michelle Pfeiffer of it all, which
That's
oh my God.
I mean.
Yeah.
Like her getting licked by cats. I could never watch that part.
Dude, when she whips all those mannequins' heads off, though,
I just saw a Instagram clip.
does it in one take.
Yeah. And the crew freaks out.
Tim
It's
Burton
so good.
loses his mind. Yeah.
It's so good. She does a big bow. It's so awesome.
It's so awesome. You know, I say all of this to say, when Batman Forever came out, that was a huge part of my childhood.
The marketing for that movie,
All the toys, all of it.
the best. All right. Well, Arnold,
We love you, but
We
oh my
love
God,
you.
that was a giant pile of shit.
Andrew Davis, come back.
And let's get Andrew Davis on this pod and ask him what happened.
All right, before we go, Sam, let's put some wishes out into the physical media universe for titles on formats that they do not yet exist on.
All right, you ready?
I am ready.
I'm so scared. I'm holding off on one wish because I try to kind of keep them themed to the episode. And I have this one that I feel like almost every day you're going to do.
That I'm going to do.
Yeah. And I'm not doing it today. So I'll get to it eventually.
Okay. My fear is more about, I guess because my picks are slightly more mainstream perhaps, but my fear is not that you'll do them, it's that they will be announced before
you can.
I can put the wish out and take the credit for it, which has happened.
Did we highlight the fact that Bringing Out the Dead is coming out? We talked about this.
I actually can't remember if we talked about it on the show, but I've been telling everyone that will listen to me about it.
Marty's got a wish that came true, baby.
Almost. I think I wished for it on Paramount Presents, but it's coming out. No, I think I wished for it on Criterion, but it's coming out on Paramount Presents.
Yeah.
So is that a wish come true? I think so.
I think so, yeah. We'll send you a balloon.
Exactly. Here we go.
I wish for Lethal Weapon 1 or a collection on 4K.
I wish for Proof of Life on Blu-ray or 4K.
All right, I gotta say, while I was remembering this movie, I kept being like, when does Meg Ryan pop up in this?
Exactly.
And I was like, oh, fuck, that's Proof of Life.
Exactly. I mean, yeah.
Again, I watched this during the pandemic, and I'm pretty sure I did either a double feature of Proof of Life into Collateral Damage or a day apart.
Yeah. I mean, they are in the same sandbox.
Yeah. So tell us about Collateral Damage.
Proof of Life. We're leaving that. Okay, so I'll be honest. My memory of this movie is it's been so long since I've seen this because this was never on Blu-ray. I never had it on DVD, and I've never streamed it.
Sure.
And so this is a movie I remember coming out in 2000 when I was 12 and obsessed with Russell Crowe. Because of Gladiator.
Had you seen The Gladiator? Yeah.
And,
okay.
Gladiator's what, 99? 2000? When is it? 2000.
Okay.
But I think for some reason that this came out afterwards, or I certainly saw it afterwards. But this movie is about a woman whose husband is kidnapped and ends up somewhere in South America.
That woman is played by Meg Ryan, and her husband is played by David Morse.
David Morse.
Pretty sure I'm right about this one.
Okay, so, and she hires Russell Crowe, who's sort of a professional negotiator who can get people out of these situations.
Yeah, I think he's kind of like Black Ops military. Something that's close to that.
He's adjacent to the type of people that are hired to save Captain Brodie Torrance and his airplane in Plane.
And his right-hand man, his best friend, his military buddy is redhead from the first season of NYPD Blue.
David Caruso.
Yeah.
King of New York.
Yeah. Also in Jade, William Friedkin's Jade.
You know who else is in this movie?
Cliff Curtis.
Hero of Physical Therapy, a movie podcast. If Physical Therapy, a movie podcast, had like an office building, we would have a statue of this woman in like the foyer, and that is Pamela Reed, who is Arnold's sidekick in Kindergarten Cop. Absolute queen. But I don't know. You know, they go on an action mission to get her husband back, and they also may or may not be falling in love in the movie. They were also falling in love on set, which I think had a lot to do with this movie being controversial.
Didn't she serve Dennis Quaid like divorce papers while she was filming this?
I'm not prepared to comment on that. I don't know. But I like their son.
Wait, who's their son?
Jack Quaid.
What's he in again?
He's in the first Radio Silent Scream. Anyways, this movie never came out on Blu-ray, and I don't really know why. And it's a solid action thriller from the very early 2000s.
I hope it comes out so you can revisit it and
discover that it sucks.
You might change solid, but we'll see.
So the director is Taylor Hackford, whose previous film prior to Proof of Life was the absolute masterpiece, The Devil's Advocate.
Whoa.
And have you seen that, Sam?
No, but I have a copy of it sitting here. Okay. I'm just waiting for the time.
So can I pitch an episode in real time?
Yeah. What do we
Double reaction pod like this.
Oh, God.
But it's Fallen and The Devil's Advocate.
Oh, without a doubt.
Which I think are both devil heavy.
Yep.
Yeah.
They're sitting next to each other in the shame pile right now.
Yeah.
In a heartbeat.
Because I got The Devil's Advocate when you got The Devil's Advocate, which I've seen, and it's tight.
That order to Amazon was Fallen, The Devil's Advocate, and Eyes Wide Shut.
Damn. They're like, somebody packed that and was like, what the fuck is wrong with this guy? All right.
Yeah, let's keep it simple. The Lethal Weapon movies, we had the first one on VHS, or my dad had the first one on VHS growing up. All-time Shane Black script. Everyone's seen it. I haven't seen it in a million years. I'm loving when Gary Busey was still like a real actor and not insane.
Yeah.
Just like playing villains. He pops up as a villain in Under Siege. He's great in Lethal Weapon. The movie was on. We have a TV at work and we always have it muted, but I found like a block that was all four of them in a row.
Okay.
So I caught some of the tail end of one and I just was like, oh man, I haven't seen this in a really long time. I would love to pick up that 4K. I'm sure it looks great. And I did a quick search. There's a collection on Blu-ray and I think there's some solo ones as well, but not anything on 4K. And I figure like we're in an action heavy couple episodes, give me Lethal Weapon, dude.
A good wish. Who's most likely to do that? I'm going to say Shout Factory.
Yeah, I could see that. I could also just see like a regular studio release.
Who is it? Warner Brothers? Yeah.
And Richard Donner did all four of them. I mean, that's one thing that you can say about those movies. At least 1, 2, and 3 all look the same. It's very rare that you get a franchise that one director does all of.
Yeah. Let me put something out there. Warner Brothers needs to pick it up. They were doing pretty well with like those Warner 100 kind of branded movies. Like they put a bunch of stuff out. Rebel Without a Cause, Maltese Falcon, Enter the Dragon. Mm-hmm. I think Training Day was one of those. Mm-hmm. Cool Hand Luke, The Way We Were, I think is one of those. There was like a ton of classic movies that they had dropped on 4K in a short amount of time. But I also feel like that stopped and they're just sitting on one of, if not, arguably the best kind of gold mines of anybody. And they have Warner Archives and that's great. But as far as their 4K upgrades, let's pick it up. It's money on the table, It's my money on the table.
Yeah, you would be bold.
Okay, that's it for this episode of Physical Therapy. Thanks everybody for checking it out. We hope you are still here. A big thank you to Kimberly for producing our show, who fell asleep hours ago. A big thank you to Patrick Laban for our music, as always. Sam, thanks for, suffering through Collateral Damage with me, embracing Eraser.
Eraser is like just incredible at this point.
Yeah, we've come a long way.
Yeah.
We'll be back next week. Oh, baby.
Oh, yeah. This is a good one.
Next week, we are diving into one of my personal favorite films, the new 4K from Paramount Presents of a little movie called Chinatown. See you then.
And remember, your luggage.